Hi friends! So today I want to show you how I set up my weekly spread in my Hobonichi Weeks Mega, and this is the sneaker edition. And later I will show you last year's Hobonichi Weeks and give you some idea on how to use your planner, and I hope that this will help you decide which planner to buy for 2027. And I've been using this for work, so for next week I want to divide this section into three, and that's for my morning tasks, my afternoon, and my evening tasks or activities. I know that it's not a lot of space for each day, but lately I have been trying to avoid multitasking and just focus on one task for each part of the day. So let's divide this. I'm just using a ruler, and this is a very old Tombow brush pen which is still working. So I'm really happy with the Tombow brush pens. And what's good about the Tombow brush pen is that you can buy the colors and the pens individually, so you don't have to buy the whole set. So this has dots, and I'm just going to connect the dots to draw the line. And I like using pink because it's a very light color and it works well with a lot of my stickers in case I want to put stickers on my weekly spread later, like this one. So I don't have any events scheduled for next week except for dinner on Saturday with our friends, and so I'm not writing anything on here yet. What I do with my weekly spread is I treat it like a bullet journal. So at the end of this week, that's when I sit down and plan my tasks for the next week. And then I usually just write on the first few days and then fill this up as the week goes along. Like here, for this week, it's only Wednesday, so I've only filled up this part of the weekly spread, and then this will just be filled up as I continue to finish my tasks for the week. And so now let's set up the habit tracker. And this is my focus for this weekly spread. The habit tracker that I've been using is this one. This is my layout. As you can see, it's divided into morning, afternoon, and evening. And that helps me keep track of my habits that I want to do in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. And I'll explain to you while I set it up. So let's start by writing the days, and I'm just going to copy. So 3 squares before writing Monday. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then I'm going to write the dates on top for easy reference. And then here I'm going to write the things that I want to keep track of during the day. So first is journaling. So I want to make sure that I journal in the morning, and then exercise. As I do a 10-minute exercise after journaling or after working in the morning. And then here, I'll just write work. I make sure that I only have one main focus in the morning, and that's what I work on. So like here, I only did my freelance work in the morning, and then the next morning I only filmed a video, and that's my focus for the morning. And here I was able to exercise. I think I did it after working, and here I wasn't able to exercise at all. So that's how I keep track of my routines. And then after work is lunch, and I write lunch here because that divides the habit tracker into the next section. And so for the next section, I write exercise again. And that's another 10-minute exercise that I do usually after lunch or after working in the afternoon. So I make sure that I only have one focus one work focus in the afternoon. And then I also write here nap because sometimes I really need to take a nap in the afternoon just to re energize myself. So I just keep track of that. And naps are not bad. Now, naps are actually good for you. Just 5 minutes or 10 minutes of power nap is enough. And then after naps is dinner. So this is not a schedule like you have to exercise first and then work first and then nap. No, it's just a way for me to keep track of what I have done in the afternoon. So again, what's important here is that I have only one work focus in the morning and one work focus in the afternoon. And then I have exercises, and exercise is important for me because it helps me it helps prevent back pains and body pains that I usually get after sitting for long hours. So I usually work for 1 or 2 hours and then I try to exercise after that just to reset my body and avoid the back pains that I've been having recently. And then after dinner is another exercise just to burn the calories that I've consumed. And then I also put here work, but this is optional. And I try to avoid using my computer or working on the screen in the evening because I need to take care of my eyes. And I find that working at night strains my eyes more than working in the morning or afternoon. So I'll just put work there. And usually what I do in the evening is I color my coloring books because that doesn't require the computer. And then here I've added clean up, which as you can see for this week, I haven't done anything yet because it's a new part of my habit tracker, and I really want to be able to clean up my space or declutter my space in the evening because I need to do that. My office is very cluttered right now, but I haven't been up to it yet. So I hope next week will be a better week for cleaning up. And then, so there, and then I'm using the same Tombow pen to fill up some of the columns and help me locate where to put the check marks. And so doing this setup like this without stickers and just using a random pen and using just one brush pen or one color helps make everything more frictionless. So it doesn't take me a long time to set this up. And then later, after the week is over or when I am not working on anything, that's when I can put stickers or decorations on my weekly spread, just like what I did here. I did the stickers only after the end of the week. And then after doing that, I draw this line for lunch and dinner. So the only reason I put lunch and dinner there is to help me see where is morning and then where is afternoon and where is evening here. It's just easier for me to look to it there. And so that's my weekly spread for next week. I need to focus on only one task in the morning, only one task in the afternoon, and only one task in the evening. And that helps me avoid multitasking. And then for my habit tracker, it's important for me that I journal in the morning. And then it's also important for me to do my 10-minute exercises after eating or after working because it really does prevent body pains, back pains, neck pains. And what I do now as an exercise is I follow a Tai Chi video on YouTube, and I really go for the easy ones, the ones 40 years old, 50 years old, and above. And there's also one video for neck and back pain. So that's what I do. I only do the light exercises. So that's my weekly spread on my Hobonichi Weeks Mega. And now I want to show you my Hobonichi Weeks Mega from last year. And this is the colors edition. So as you can see, it has the cloth cover, and I covered it with the plastic that you can buy from Hobonichi. And with that, I can insert these things. So I've used this Hobonichi Weeks as a weekly log. So I write here the events, the things that good things I want to remember for the week, and then decorate it with stickers. And this has been really enjoyable for me last year, but in the end, I wasn't able to do it until the end of the year, I think. It's becoming less and less stickers, and what I've been using more is the notes pages. And it's okay. It's okay if you're not consistent with your planner, like with the planner setup, because your planner has to change with your priorities for that week or for that year, for that month. It's not supposed to stay as is because we have different seasons in our lives, and our planners change with those seasons. And so here on the notes pages, because this is the week's mega, I have a lot of notes pages, and I tried setting it up like a bullet journal. So intentions, goals, future log. And then here, I use these notes pages as a bullet journal. So as you can see, my habit tracker looks the same since last year, and I think also 2 years ago my habit tracker has been like this. And that's my bullet journal, and it gets less stickers as I become more busy. And the bullet journal is really helpful for me when I need to reorganize my life, my thoughts, when I just need to be more organized. And so the bullet journal is really helpful for me. And then later, I've just been taking down notes here. And I think there were major life changes last year. So instead of bullet journaling, this has become a catch-all notebook for me. I think the difference between the sneaker and the mega and the colors is that the sneaker is smaller because it doesn't have this cover, this hard cover that you see on the colors edition. This is just paper, and because it's paper, I'm not very careful with using this notebook, and that made it frictionless for me to use this. Unlike here, because it was cloth, I needed to cover it to avoid making the cloth dirty, because it's a light pink color that I like, and the cover is additional expense. So I tried not to use the cover here, and I like it. It worked for me. And another thing is that the sneaker is a bit lighter than this planner, and if you put the plastic cover here, it will not fit very well. The cover is actually bigger than the sneaker mega. So I think the plastic cover was not made for this version. And what else? But everything's the same. You have the same number of pages. And this is what it looked like because I put a lot of stickers in. Here, I didn't put stickers. It's just very minimal. And so it still is compact like this. And so there, I think that's all I want to say for now about my Hobonichi Weeks. And if you like this planner, let me know. Leave me a comment. This is really my favorite planner, and I've been looking at the 2027 planners, the preview forest in the Hobonichi website, and so far The weeks are okay, the designs are okay, but I'm still sticking to the sneakers. So I'm waiting for what colors they come up with for the sneakers mega. And so that's it. I hope you like this video. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.